What's going on, everybody? This is my 2010 Tesla Roadster. As to contrary to people think, the Model S was not the first car that Tesla ever built. This was the first car that Tesla ever built to become the greater company that Tesla is today. This was a concept car that was made from 2008 to 2011. Tesla built only 2,500 of these cars. 12 of them were sent overseas, and 13 of them were sold in the United States. And I'm just very lucky and blessed to have and to own one of these cars. The Tesla Roadster was basically a breakthrough in technology to prove that an electric car can be efficient and reliable. And this was the car that Tesla made to bring Tesla to the map, to become the great car company, electric car company that Tesla is today. Now, ironically, I'm not here to talk about the Tesla. I'm actually here to talk about Fliteboard. Fliteboard is the Tesla of eFoils today, and there is the comparison. Fliteboard is by far the best eFoil on the market today, and what is setting the bar higher for what is to come, not only technology-wise and performance-wise. All right. Maybe I went too far with the melodrama music that I played. But I'll let you know, my name is Rolando Morim. I'm 51 years old. I'm a retired bodybuilder who happen to love water sports. And if you want to know everything about Fliteboard, and if you're in the market to buy an eFoil, please watch this video to its entirety. It's going to be a long video, but I can assure you that you're going to understand why Fliteboard is a better brand. There are on the market today about 6 brands of eFoils. So eFoil is nothing else than an electric hydrofoil. So you can understand the explanation I can give to you. I'm just going to show you very quickly what a hydrofoil is. Let me explain what a hydrofoil is, especially for the beginners out there, so you can understand the difference in designs with lift and Fliteboard. This is a hydrofoil designed by Armstrong. A hydrofoil is basically consisting of 3 pieces. 1 is the mast, 2 is the fuselage, where you attach the front and the rear wings. And the difference between a hydrofoil and a eFoil is that eFoil, you incorporate electric motor somewhere on this configuration. Now that you know what hydrofoil is, let me explain the difference between the brands out there. The 2 major brands that dominate the market today, it's Lift and Fliteboard. Lift, by all means, is the most popular brand who's been around for quite some time. And I have a lot of friends who has them. And I'm sure they're gonna hate me for saying that. But Fliteboard, it is a better brand. It's not my opinion, it's a fact. There are 4 facts why Fliteboard is a better brand. But before that, let me tell you a story. So, Lift, it's a company, is a hydrofoil company who's been in the market for over 10 years. And they became the most popular brand because they jumped in the market first. The reason why they jumped in the market first is because they already had an existing platform on making hydrofoils. So what they did, they took an existing platform and incorporate a hydrofoil, a motor to the mast. Now, it wasn't just as easy as that. Of course, it took some research, some time, and they came out on the market first and became very popular. Now, Fliteboard, on the other hand, they already knew about eFoils and concept and so forth. But what they did was taking their time to design their eFoil all around the motor. So they designed their eFoil from the ground up. Not only the motor, the wings, the software, and so forth. And here's a comparison. So factor number 1, design. Let's talk about design. On the left, we have Lift eFoil. On the right, you have Fliteboard eFoil. Now, as you can see on the left, let's start with Lift. There is the mast, there is the fuselage, and there are the wings. And here is the motor. As you can see, Lift used the existing platform, the existing foil platform, and add the motor to the mast. Now, it wasn't just adding a motor. Of course, they did a lot of design and thinking and so forth. However, logically speaking, you're gonna see there's a fuselage here, which is gonna create a little bit of turbulence on this body itself, which is normal. And then you're gonna have another body over here, the motor, which is gonna create also a little bit more turbulence here. So logically speaking, this is gonna create a little more turbulence than the other design, and is a little more unstable than Fliteboard. It's not an opinion, it is a fact. Now let's look now at the Fliteboard. They, unlike Lift, design the eFoil around the motor. So here you have a clear mast, only the fuselage with the motor inside and the wings. Of course, there's a little bit drag over here for the tail, but there's much less drag here than there is here. So as you can see, hydrodynamically speaking, this is a more efficient design and is more stable on the water. And also, for the fact that it's not a bulky volume over here, the mast travels longer before you breach the water on with the fuselage. So it's just logics. Looking at this, you can see that Fliteboard, it is a better design. So second factor here now is connection. How are you going to turn on your board to get in the water? So this is the original footage from Lift, and they're going to tell you what you do with Fliteboard.
Let's go ahead and connect our water tube. You should hear a click. These tubes must be fully mated for water to flow through. Now let's go ahead and connect our phase connectors. The inside cable goes to the inside connector, and the outside cable goes to the outside connector. Or you can follow the color guides on the top of the connector. If you mismatch the position of the cables, you won't damage the unit, but your prop will spin in reverse, and that doesn't work so well. First, I'm going to install the battery in. I'm going to connect my power connector and twist the cam lock to draw that power connector forward. I'm going to plug in my data connector by aligning the red dots and pressing it in to hear the click. Turn on the board, go ahead and press the top button of the electric box. You will see a sequence of blue lights come alive on the battery.
Now, here's what you have to do to get your Fliteboard in the water. You put the battery, you lock on the battery, there's two wires. Black wire goes to the black connector and snap on. Orange wire goes to the orange connector, you plug on, you're gonna hear this click. And then finally, there's a magnet key that you place over here. And automatically, in about 2 or 3 seconds, there you go, the board is on. And automatically connects to your controller. Now, I don't know about you, but I counted 6 connections on Lift. In my opinion, there are 6 connections that could go wrong. Over here, there's only 2. And once you connect it, you're ready to go. Now, some of you might say, wait, Lift has a carbon fiber mast, therefore must be a better eFoil. And Fliteboard has aluminum mast. There's a reason why Fliteboard has a aluminum mast, and that brings me to fact number 3: cooling system and electronics. On Lift, the electronics are inside of this box over here around the circle, which is permanently located inside the board.
Locate both male and female connectors of the blue water tubing and connect them together. This ensures that water can now freely flow from the motor up through the mast, through the electronics, and back out the board.
Here's the final advantage of Fliteboard in terms of design over Lift. So here's the aluminum shaft, aluminum mast. And why they use aluminum? Because the electronic box, all the electronics is seated right here on the top of the mast. And the mast works as a heat sink that cools off not only the electronics, but also the motor. And as you know, aluminum is a very good conductor of heat and dissipate of heat. So that's why there is aluminum on their mast. And this is it. That's the only electronics on the whole system itself, and all integrated in one piece. And finally, now let's talk about factor number 4, which is safety and software. Quickly talk about safety and design software with a Fliteboard. There's no way in hell that with Fliteboard, that although the control is on, I'm gonna hurt myself by pressing the finger. Look at that. I'm pressing it and nothing's gonna happen. Why? Because in Fliteboard, you have to go through these steps over here. First, you gotta press the trigger once, then you gotta press minus, and now finally, the propeller spins. Once again, you gotta go through this process all the time. Press trigger, minus, and now finally, the propeller spins. Now, there's another advantage on this too. Lift tells you that once you turn on the system, you have to turn off your controller, so not accidentally you press this and by mistake you hurt yourself. Also, you cannot run this motor off the water for longer than 2 or 5 seconds. And once again, lift has also improved on that, because no matter what you do outside the water, even though I go through the process, outside it only spins for about half a second and stops. And there's nothing I can do. If I try to override that, it always stops. It only works in full throttle in the water. And right there, it's a great safety. Now, again, by all means, Lift, it is a great brand, and I'm sure my friends who has Lift, they're gonna disagree with me, which is fine. But once again, I'm saying this with confidence, Lift does make a great product. However, based on the 4 facts, as you can see, clearly see, the Fliteboard, it is a better brand. And let's face it, you're gonna spend anything from $6,000 for the bottom brand to $13,000 without talking about taxes and shipping fees. So if you're gonna spend your money, that much of money, I think you should spend for the best brand, of course, which in my opinion, and as you see, Fliteboard, it is a better brand out there today. Now, enough about talking. I hope this helped so far. Let me put the board in the water now and show some other advantage that Fliteboard has. So hang in there, we're almost over.
First of all, let me say something right off bat. You should be wearing a BFD, a jacket, or in a neoprene if you want to be safe. I'm just used to riding it, enjoy the sun, so I'm getting a tan at the same time. I don't recommend you to ride like this at all, okay? If you want to wear a helmet and a life vest, by all means, especially if you're learning, that'll be the best way to go, okay? Now, I'm not going to spend that much time talking about performance and so forth, but I can tell you this. I logged on about 300 miles of running on this board, and so far I have no problems at all whatsoever, neither with the control, with the battery, or anything like that, connection and so forth. Both brands, Lift and Fliteboard, come with different wings, and you can change the wings depending how you want to ride. For instance, right now I'm riding the Flyer, which has more speed and it carves better for turns and so forth. If you're a beginner, you definitely want to go with the Cruiser. Now, in terms of the battery, how long the battery lasts is up to you. My longest time spending on this board has been 1 hour and 15 minutes without trying hard. And my longest ride was 18 miles. So it all depends how you ride it. If you falling up and getting up, falling up and getting up all the time, of course, the battery's not gonna last as long. But generally speaking, I'll say that you definitely got 1 hour easily to ride on it. And for instance, this is my first ride of the day. I will take a break soon, recharge the battery this afternoon, and then I'm gonna go for a second ride later. And usually takes about 1 hour, 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending, to recharge the battery. Let me talk a little bit about the controller. I tried both controllers and I like the Fliteboard better for the fact that it's very compact, and if you close your hands as you're going up on board, you can actually use your wrist, you can put your hands on the board to get up. On the flyboard, on a lift, the control is much bigger and the bottom of it comes down your hand and you kind of hit the deck of your board when you're trying to get it up. One major difference between both brands too is that you press the trigger on flyboard and then you control the trigger, the speed with your thumb, minus, plus, and minor buttons that allows you to increase or decrease your speed, which I like it a lot because on lift you actually control the speed by holding the trigger up and down, which you gotta be very trigger sensitive to get your speed. I didn't get used to it. I think this is a much easier and safer way to fly your board. And the controller, you can get all the information, all what you're doing. You can see everything that's going on in your controller. You can see your speed, you can see your wattage, you can see how many time you have left on the battery, and so forth. This is my second session of the day. I went home, recharged the battery. It took me about an hour and 45 minutes to recharge it. And now I'm here in Charles River, Boston. Several things I want to talk about this as well is that, I don't know if I mentioned or not, but before I did this, I did wing foiling. So it was easy for me to make a transition from wing foiling to eFoiling. It's not a very difficult sport or thing to do. However, it does take a learning curve for whoever wants to try out. I would say that if you practice every day, it might take you anything between 3 weeks to 4 weeks to be on the foil.
Let me pause here for a second and explain this. You will be able to get up on foil on your first try, and for sure you're gonna fall. However, when I say 3 to 4 weeks, it's for you to be completely confident on your riding skills.
However, it depends on you, how much you're gonna, time you're gonna put into it. Like everything else, you need to put some time into it. So far, in my opinion, it is the Tesla of the eFoils out there. The only complaint I have to make about them is that it's hard for you to get in touch with the representatives, at least in New England. I basically bought this on the blind. Luckily, I had some experience on foiling, so I kind of knew what I have to buy. So if I had to make one complaint, is that it's hard to get a hold of someone, especially to get somebody who's going to teach you how to foil and so forth. Which, by the way, if you are in the Boston area, Massachusetts, by all means, get in touch with me. I'll be glad to discuss any questions you might have. And if you want some lessons as well, just let me know. I'll be glad to help. So everybody talks about how exciting and thrilling this sport of eFoil is. But one thing that you understand is that it's also so calming, so soothing. For me, this is stress relief. There's no way to describe it, how great you feel, especially on a day like this, on a sunset, to come in and relax. For me, this is my stress relief. For you to understand it, you have to experience it. And Fliteboard, thank you so much for such an amazing job with this. I'm very stoked. Thank you guys for being patient, for watching this video. Please subscribe, give the like, and also follow my Instagram channel, which is coach_Rolando. Guys, thank you for your time. Please leave a comment below, and be good to each other, be safe, and do what you love. Now I'm gonna go on the sunset and enjoy the rest of my day. Take care, guys. See ya.
Again, thank you so much for watching this. Please leave the thumbs up. And if you are in the Boston area and you have any questions or need some flyboard lessons, please get in touch with me. I'll be glad to help.